And look, there's Obama out now, and he's hailing these fraudulent unemployment numbers released today. He's out there saying the first time unemployment rate is below 5% in 8 years. It's 4.9%. 151,000 new jobs are created. It's just a lie. It's total fraud. What is this first time unemployment rate? Well, we talk about first time, so we don't have to talk about the people who've been unemployed for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, so we don't talk about them. So, yeah, the number of people unemployed for the first time, under 5%. Add those to the 94 million Americans who can't find jobs, and it's not a pretty picture. But there he is. He's out there claiming credit for it. And he's told anybody, State of the Union show, that anybody who tells you that this economy is not good is crazy or lying or whatever. And Hillary Clinton spent the whole debate last night telling everybody how the economy sucks. That's one of the many things. You watch this and you don't, what is she complaining about? She and her party have been running this country for 7 years, and she dares to detail all that's gone wrong with it. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. To watch this debate last night, I tried to assume the attitude, mental psyche of your average middle-class Democrat watching it. And the thing that you have to do doing that, you have to understand who the Democrats are today. What is their base like? They are perpetual and constant victims, folks. Many of them are poor, but even the ones who aren't poor feel they are poor. They have invested their entire lives hoping others are going to do things for them. And, of course, nobody gets anywhere doing that. So when it doesn't work out, you feel like you've been victimized. You feel like you've been taken advantage of and forgotten. It's never your fault. They think they've been victimized by all of the isms: sexism, racism, bigotry, homophobia, whatever it is. There is some sort of explanation that is rooted in negative behavioral traits of others who are doing mean things to them, or who are standing in their way of getting anywhere, or who are purposely targeting them and keeping them down. Their misery, and that's what their lives are, their misery in their minds is explained by all of these mean, powerful forces out to deny them. Big oil, big pharmaceutical, big retail, you name it. All of these, the Republican Party, talk radio, all of these powerful forces are arrayed against them and keeping them pinned down to where they can't accomplish anything. In their minds, they should have been great successes. They're the smartest people in the world. They're smarter than you. They're smarter than people running the country, but they've never gotten a break. Everybody's given them the raw deal every day of their lives. It was either their teachers or their school or a coach or a parent. Somebody failed to see how brilliant they are, how great they are. Then it was their boss, if they ever had a job, or their employer who didn't make them company president, didn't promote them, didn't give them a raise, maybe fired them. And then you throw the cops in this. They hate the cops. The cops are out to get them. It's hopeless. Their own environment, the people they live among, the places they go to school, the places they go shop, everywhere they go is aligned and arrayed against them. They are victims of this conspiracy or that, and I don't mean tinfoil hat conspiracy. They're victims of unseeable, invisible, powerful forces that are arrayed against them in so many ways it's impossible, don't you know, to overcome. The only remedy, therefore, is the government to give them the things that they are being denied because of all of these mean, powerful forces that have stacked the deck against them. Everything that's too expensive is because somebody is trying to screw them out of being unable to have it, be it higher education, be it a nice car, be it health care, be it child care. All of that stuff should rightfully have been theirs, and it should have been easily acquired, but it's being denied them. Usually by the rich who stole all of the stuff from them at one point. This is how they think. Now, you made Russia crazy. Nobody thinks this way. They do, folks. It is the only way a debate like last night makes any sense, where you have a battle between two old grandparent types arguing over who can give away the most, while punishing the most people at the same time. The only way a debate like that makes sense is if I have nailed the attitudinal psychology of these average Democrat voters. Housing. Well, who can afford that? There ought to be subsidies or vouchers or giveaways of some kind, because they can't afford these things, and it's all because somebody else is making it impossible for them. The rich, however, they've got all this. They ought to be paying for it. And the rich are the ones that are squeezing them to boot. So the rich ought to be paying for it. You've heard liberals talk about access. Usually you hear them talk about how they're being denied access to something. That is how the liberal mind, the middle class, liberal mind thinks. Such as access to, shall we say, reproductive rights or reproductive health care. Reproductive health care. They're being denied access. Now, that phraseology makes it look like they're being denied rights, like they're being denied constitutional rights, human rights that are guaranteed to everybody. What denied access means when these people use it is nobody's giving it to them. Little test. Going forward, when you listen on TV, any liberal on TV start talking about how they're being denied access to this or that, what they mean is that nobody's giving it to them. Now, the Democrat elite, the rich Democrats, they are in the same boat, but they're unhappy for different reasons. I'm not going to mess with them. I'm not going to bother with them right now, because the focus here is the people that watched that debate last night. The Democrat elites are the ones. I had to laugh. I just give an example. Here's Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, and they're both ragging on Wall Street last night. Wall Street pays for the Democrat Party, and both of them know it. I've got a list of all of the Wall Street. No, they're ragging on Goldman Sachs last night, and the Blankfeins, Lloyd Blankfein, who runs the place, and his wife, are two of the biggest donors of the Democrat Party. Wall Street props up the modern-day Democrat Party. Wall Street does not support Republicans. And yet here these two are last night, ragging on Wall Street like nobody ever has before. The reason? They know the people watching the debate are blaming Wall Street and all the other fat cats for denying them what they should have had their entire lives and preventing them from ever having a hope of getting whatever they want or need in the future. Therefore, somebody better use government to get it to them. The liberal mindset today has no happiness. There is no joy. They're all victims. Somebody's to blame for their misery and their lack of future. Add to it 7 years of what they thought was going to be a socialist utopia. Barack Hussein Obama. No more war. We're going to fix global warming. We're going to close Guantanamo Bay. We're not going to do any more torture. We're going to put people at Wall Street. We're going to put them in jail. We're going to finally get even with all of these people who've made life so miserable. And instead, what do they realize every day? They realize Obama's in bed with these guys they think ought to be in jail. And subconsciously, they realize that everything they voted for, and they always vote for, but they voted for in 2008, everything they voted for has made things worse. The country's getting worse. Even they admit it's on the wrong track. Different reasons from you and I. But point is, they had their people in power the last 7 years. They had people in power the other party never even tried to stop. Now, these people I'm talking about think the Republican Party is stopping the great Obama each and every day. They think Obama's still an outsider, doing his best to overcome these powerful forces. All of these powerful forces of denial, by the way, happen to be Republicans in your average warped liberal mind. Not only is there no happiness in the liberal mindset, if you watch that debate last night, there's no pursuit of happiness. Neither Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton are about happiness. They're not about finding it. They're not about promoting it. They're not about ensuring it. They're not even cognizant of it. Happiness did not even show up, either in terms of how Bernie and Hillary portrayed themselves or in terms of what they talked about. What they talked about last night was anger and how people are getting shafted, how people are getting screwed. Hillary is progressively angrier and louder as every day goes by because there is more racism, there is more bigotry, there's more inequality, there's more denial of rights for women, for Hispanics, for African Americans. It never ends. It only gets worse. And the free market is to blame. Bernie Sanders talks about this sustained rigged economy. That's how he opened last night. This economy is rigged. It's rigged by the people of Wall Street and whoever else. And I'm saying, who rigged the economy? Who possibly can rig the economy? If you have on one hand a free market, a regulated free market, how in the world do you rig it? There's only one place. There's only one entity that can rig the market, folks. It's called Uncle Sam. The United States government is who rigs the economy. The tax code is a way to rig the economy. It's a government creation. Regulations, that's how you rig the economy. It's how you pick winners and pick losers. The market doesn't pick winners and losers. You have to win or lose. It's up to you in the market. The government coming in, picking winners and losers, is rigging the market. And the government has been rigging the market for as long as there have been liberals in it. Free markets, by definition, rig nothing. Free markets reward smart. Free markets reward entrepreneurism. Free markets reward hard work. And not all the time, by the way. It's another thing these people think. They think we're full of it because we believe these old bromides, hard work and all that, and devotion and ambition pays off. It's a lot more than that. Doesn't work for everybody, of course. Not everybody's a multimillionaire. Not everybody never has been, never will be. And because of that, they're able to universally criticize it and claim it's illegitimate and so forth. The government's the biggest risk to our economy. And it ain't even close. There's nothing that comes even, you can't even see something else in the binoculars when you're looking out there to find out that possible things could rig, damage U.S. economy. U.S. government's it, and there's nothing else that you are going to see. It isn't Wall Street rigging the economy. It's Pennsylvania Avenue. But wait, Rush, what about quantitative easing? I've heard you say, right. But Wall Street, they just had their hands open, but it was Washington that decided to print all that money. It was Washington decided to give it to them. By the way, here's Bernie and these guys ragging on Goldman Sachs and so forth. You ever found it strange that practically every former CEO of Goldman Sachs becomes Treasury Secretary in Democrat administrations? And Democrat Treasury Secretary comes up with QE3, Federal Reserve, so forth. They're taking the money that's coming into Washington and giving it to their friends. Are all Democrats doing this? Wall Street funds the Democrat Party. Hillary said she's never been influenced by mega donations. Then why are you accepting it? They're not giving you money because you're pretty. They're not giving them money because they like having you come by and have a drink with them because you're dull and boring. They're not giving you money because they want to pal around with Bill and maybe get some of the action he rejects, talking about babes. They're giving you money, Hillary, because exactly right, you are going to pay them back with influence in kind if you ever get elected. It was just full of crap last night.